Hello Infernoble friends! So, in this video, we are gonna go into my replays about my South American Championship, my YCQ. I told you that we're gonna go over the match because I think despite me winning or losing, they were really cool match. Not all of them, but most. So this is match number one. I sat down in the table and this is the hand that I opened. The face-down cards that you're gonna see are just the draws. So you don't have to, if I search them in the opponent's deck, you're gonna watch the card, and I'd rather, keep you focused, like simulating the match as real as possible. So we open this weird hand because we have some cool cards like Stake Your Soul. I already told you my deck profile. It's an amazing card, one card combo. If you have fire, popular like the Brick that if you normal summon it, get extended, and you know how to freestyle, it's good enough. And then uppercut another one card combo, one on Engine Ash, and Heritage. Okay? So my opponent was playing like a lot of cards, so I was thinking about Branded, but of course there is no way to know, Could be any deck. In match number one, you could face random decks, like even myself, I am playing like a random deck in terms of representation at least. Because I'm pretty sure I was the only Infernoble player in the whole event. Okay, so let's begin. As you can see, we have we have to freestyle. So you could normally sound the popular or the uppercutter. I think either of those have pros and cons, but for me, popular gets much more value, especially because of the stake. So of course, it depends if the stake resolves or not. We start with that, and we reveal popular. Now, when you have multiple targets, you should reveal the first card that you're gonna use. Like in this case. No way I reveal the Ash because I'm not gonna use it this turn. So between popular and upper, because I decided to normal summon popular, that's the first card that I'm gonna reveal to my opponent. It makes sense, right? So it goes through, we get the Rasen, we get the extender. Yeah, I know it's not live, but you can make it live later. So now popular goes through, we get OSS. Now check how I freestyle this hand. We go for a generic link 2, but this generic has a purpose. The purpose is to have more resilience through the Ash, because some players like to use Ash on OSS, and I think it makes sense. So yeah, we use popular, we put Rasen. Could put popular, I don't think it matters. Now we summon Pantera, because right now it's live, and you don't want to miss the window of opportunity of Pantera being live. Like if you try to use OSS here, oh maybe they Ash it and Pantera is still live, but maybe they don't Ash and you want to summon Pantera when you can. Yeah, so now you use the cost, you get a Ricardero, you could use the effect. In this case, I decided to not do it. Why? Because we have our powerful extender in our hand, so for me it makes sense to save it. So later on, Ricardero can summon this bad boy, yeah. So at this point, we have enough gas to make, that's right, an Appaloosa. So in a freestyle weird hand, we still put a negate before Angelica. I think that's important. Especially in game 1, like you don't know what they're playing. Of course, if he's on Branded, maybe he doesn't have hand drops, but who knows. Also, against Branded, Appaloosa is kinda nice. Yeah. So now we go for the Ricardero uppercutter, get the other boxer. Now, when you have it like this, usually people like to make a rank 4. You could do it and get your Renault and summon Renault, loop the Sparrow. But the thing here is, you have to think, is that like the best thing to do? Because I see a different line. Yeah, I see that we could just utilize our extender right now, and that way we still get the Renault, but now we avoid redundancy. Because if we go to the Renault through Dempsey, then what are we supposed to search of Durendal? If you remember my list, we are not playing Oliver. Yeah, so this way we can like get back to Durendal itself as the card that is gonna make, is gonna trigger Angelica. So I think that's pretty powerful. Keep in mind that Uppercut is a tuner right now, so he's not gonna be easy to utilize. But just wait, okay? So now we mill Ogier because we access double museum. Every time you use the 2 museums, you most likely wanna use the first one into the Ogier. Yeah, I know that means Warrior Lock, but I don't think it matters. Yeah. Now we use Maggie's Draw. Why? Because a lot of players, Infernoble players, would think that, hey, you should mill Gearfried, because the other museum could get you a maze, or joy if you play and recover the gift. I think that's fair, that makes sense. But for me, the issue is I think I'm losing to stuff like a Dark Ruler No More Game 1. I'm trying to put a position of how can I lose this duel, like this game. Like I'm gonna make such a big board that probably just Dark Ruler, and if that happens, I value Maggie's draw more than Guilfrid. Yeah. Also, I don't think I need Guilfrid because I'm gonna have like a lot of things to interact with monsters. Not only the Pelusa, but also the Charles Pop, the Ash. Like could interact with monsters. You know what I mean? I think we could even make an SP here. So yeah, I think getting an extra draw in this moment makes perfect sense for me. Yeah, we shuffle back these guys. We want to shuffle the level ones because we set up the follow-up that way, you know, the OSS follow-up turn 3. In this moment, we draw a Ghost Ogre. Of course, it could have been an engine piece, but in this case it worked. We got another non-engine, so we are more prepared against a Game 1 Dark Ruler. So now we loop Museum, get the Almaze. Now, another important part. You would think that, hey, but now Almaze doesn't get you an extender because you didn't put a Guilfrid in graveyard. But when you access the Boxer package, you can loop this guy. So yeah, you can always get an extender if you sequence properly, you know? So what am I gonna do right now? Yeah, we are gonna make a link one, make another link one, and now we are gonna summon the Sparrow. Now here you could make just the SP, but I'd rather to go for this line first, the MC. Why? Because he's better follow-up. Like in the follow-up where you actually get to trigger to Rendal, if you manage to summon Ogier and Mila per cutter, and you know a per cutter could go to the deck with Maugis, then you can go like summon Ogier, extra steps, summon Dempsey and get a Surge. Like more follow-up, better follow-up. Also, I access Turpin this way, which is more follow-up, because he's gonna stay in graveyard, because I just summon it from the hand. So yeah, I think that was a good decision. And also, just as a detail, like if for some reason he would gonna use a Air Charmer, we might as well just SP banish it. I don't think it matters, but why not? It's free, it was the only Earth. Yeah, we may as well, right? Now, Maugis on the SP, I think that's nice, really nice. In case of a Tenpei matchup, maybe. And now, yeah, we are set. I think we're pretty good. Having like on board the 4 monsters that interrupt with our opponent. But you're gonna count the amount of interruptions. I think that's like 3, 4, 7 interruptions, ignoring the hand wraps. 9 with the hand wraps. I think that's a lot. So let's see how he tries to deal with this board, right? So he starts with Albion, which you could let it go, but the thing is, that confirms he's branded, and I'm sure he could break the board if he Dark Rulers. So I don't wanna give him the choice, so I might as well Apollousa negate that. Yeah, so he doesn't get the draw. Now, putting this means that he could loop the Branded Fusion, but I think that's fine because if we Ash Branded Fusion, he cannot loop it. Now he goes opening, and we could negate that, we could Ash that, or we could let it go. In this case, I think I'm fine letting it go because I want to use my negates for his talents, his trust, his evenly, you know, the board breaker that he probably has one or two in hands right now. But whatever he summons, which is probably an Aluber, it's going to be in defense, so he cannot threaten the Apollousa, and Apollousa can negate it. So that's fine. Yeah. Now, normal summon Fallen, that's powerful. If we don't have any interruption for the Fallen, that's really powerful. Thankfully enough, we have quite a lot of interruptions right now. But if you have like a game still with just the Charles, yeah, he puts in the work. So in this case, you could SP banish it, and you know, if it loses the target, it's gone. You could negate it because he could Battlefield kill the Apo, or you could Ghost Ogre. That's a nice application of this hand drop, which is usually bad against Branded. Just in case he could have the droplet, I'd rather save the trouble and just Ghost Ogre. Of course, that's gonna tell my opponent that I am on hand drop, but guess what? I don't think it matters because you cannot avoid it, you cannot win, so I think it's fine revealing my secret, my non-engine lineup, yeah. Now Branded Fusion, once again, I'm gonna reveal that I am a hand drops anyway, I don't care. Yeah, because I don't want to use a negate, and maybe he can loop it 1 or maybe twice, whatever he has in hand. So that's GG. Okay, sorry, I skipped ahead one step. So now we're in game 2. He starts with Gold Sark, Tragedy, get Albert, Standard. I think that's pretty good for the Droll, because Droll could be not good in this matchup, but because he started with a Search, maybe it can put the work. But he got the Branded Fusion, so Droll is not gonna do that much. Now he goes for this guy, which is weird. I was expecting the ones that fusions, and then Morner could put the work, but he bypassed it. I think that was really smart. Now, we could have Morner this guy so we prevent the loss, but to be honest, I don't think loss is a problem here. Especially because this guy means summon something in the end phase, the Titanic Club. Whatever he summons, which is probably a Quam, because I know the deck to a certain point, to a certain extent. So I think I'm fine with Morner that. Yeah, like, yeah, I don't care too much about branded loss at this point, to be honest with you. Now, we top deck a Ricardero. So right now I think this looks nice, because with the stake package we could pop this before using the extra, so this cannot revive anything. And then this happens. Fusion dupe. And that means pretty much Gimmick Puppet right now. Yeah. I think it was something like this. Now, this sequence could be wrong. Maybe he did it differently. But the thing is, he had the Gimmick Puppet access and we just lose game 2 quickly. Alright, so this is game 3. This was probably the best game of all this match. We opened, once again, Popular, good old friend. I don't like you, but it's fine, because we still have combo. Ghost Ogre, Gianfranco, why do you have Ghost Ogre put side? Well, like I told you, I like the approach against the Branded to focus on the Charles, because he's gonna have a lot of Water Breakers, and Charles could negate Branded Fusion, could negate the non-engine power spells, and also the Angel Ring to prevent the Dark Ruler or Droplet, or even Super Coil if he plays that. However, this approach of Endward makes us weaker to stuff like Fallen of Atlas. So I might as well have the hand wrap that counteracts Falling of Albas in a good way. I think I replaced the Improv for this because I could draw this of Moggies in my end phase or the opponent's main phase, and I rather, the life hand wrap that kills Falling of Albas instead of a dead Improv. That's basically it. So again, we start with Stake, revealing the first fire that we're gonna use. Again, Popular, because I already planned that I'm gonna normal summon this guy, doing a similar route than game 1, but different, because we don't have the exact same hand. So it goes through, we get a good start, we are making the correct play so far. Now we make the Link 2, just in case of an Ash, once again. Also, because in this match, if he has an Ash, this Link 2 is gonna be dead in my extra, so I might as well use it in this step. So now we go like this. Yeah. Now once again, you could use the effect to revive, but I'm not gonna do it because we have Moggies. And I really like the Moggies technique, where you save your normal summon Moggies or a way to extend into Moggies. So when you can set up fodder for Moggies draw later on, you do it and you actually get the Moggies draw. So I like that technique. I think this hand makes sense that we take that approach in this hand. We get a Museum, which is really important to make Guild-Free live. Yeah, what else? Yeah, we get a Maze, because we need to fuel the graveyard for Moggies. That's basically it. Now we get level 1 Roland. Could have been Renault, but I think Roland was the better choice here. Because like I told you, we want to prioritize Angel Ring. So now we get the Moggies. Is Moggies ready to shuffle 3? I'm not quite sure. So at this point we have Ricardero. The Vanish face down are the next draws, okay? We have only Ricardero, Rasen, and 2 equips. We could shuffle 1. Yeah, we could totally put Moggies in graveyard right now. We could also trigger Angelica. So what's the difference? Just a pro tip. You want to get rid of variants first. So if it doesn't really change too much your combo line, you should just get your Moggies draw before your Angelica mill, because the draw could modify your mill, so you could mill something better depending on what you draw. That's it. Yeah, so now we get the draw. Yeah, it was uppercut. So sometimes in this type of scenarios, I wanna summon my gear free before Magus shuffles the equips. So that way I could put the equip in the vanish pile and then Magus shuffle it from the vanish. In this case, I don't care because I could just vanish this during that, and what am I gonna equip to Charles? The angel ring, that's right. But if you don't have that extra equip in rotation, keep an eye. You probably wanna summon your gear free early. Now you trigger the Angelica, meet the Ogre, summon this. Now the Ogre, you could equip and receive summon, or you could also take advantage of Promethean. I like that idea because you also wanna use Promethean early, so you can get rid of Promethean early as well. Yeah. So now you get a meal, Turpin the Extender. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Now, like I told you, you can pop the Promethean, no problem. Now I'm gonna summon the Gifrit. So at this point, if they have Nib, I think we were fine because if they decided to wait it, we have the Ghost Ogre that could have its application in Fallen, in the other card, Cartesian. We will have the Gifrit still, and the Promethean follow-up, so not the ends, but I mean, it was still bad into Nibiru, but I think it's obvious he doesn't have it, so it doesn't matter. We equip Magus there. Now we go for Charles. Now, Uppercutter, I usually like to use him as a free side piece, but there is no way because we already used Ricardero to summon from hand. Now we don't play Joy, so it's gonna be his follow-up. Now we equip the Turpin, so we can make the other Link one, and end phase. That's it. So now we get the Angel Ring, we can put it, and Renault, yeah. So why Renault? I mean, we do have the OSS, but it could be for Ricardero, I don't think it matters. Or you could also just cost Renault and then Magi shuffle it. I just needed to put something because we have the 3 guys that cost equips, so that's a lot of equips to cost. We get the Angelica, and that's it. So we ended on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 interruptions with the Ghost Ogre, which again, I think that's fine. But let's see how broken is his hand, you know? So he goes with Allure. Now, you are forced basically to use Charge Negate to keep Rick alive. And like I told you, I'm gonna put this before the Maugis. Now he uses Trust. Now here, there is a debate. It depends on what you would rather lose into. Dark Ruler or Evenly. Because the thing is, if you save Ring, then you get punished by Evenly. Or just the opponent having all monsters and maybe a continuous spell or a field spell where this just gets wasted. So in this moment, sometimes I would just let Ring negate the normal spell and then keep Charles, because Charles is gonna be better facing, like once again, fields, continuous, or traps. However, in this moment, if he Dark Ruler this, I'm gonna be in a huge problem. If he evenly, this scenario is way different. So right now in this moment, I would rather an evenly. But of course, it's like blind. I don't really know the answer. It depends on what he has. So we're gonna negate it, get a draw. I really like the technique of shuffling Roland, because that way, if something happens to the monsters, then I can Roland trigger Angelica, I can mill the little Roland and get more follow-up. And in this moment, we draw Witch, yeah. So now, he had the evenly. At this point, I was like, I should have let it Ring negate. So what are we gonna keep in this moment? It's like a hard choice at the beginning, but if you have enough knowledge of the deck, you will know that to win, to grind, the easiest both monsters to access is Gearfrit. So you just keep Gearfrit. Also, it makes a lot of sense because he can be still a monster negate. Yeah. So but of course, it depends on Roland, and you cannot shotgun it, so you just have to wait. I would love to Roland equip before, and that way Gearfrit negate this Aluber, but it's not possible. So now at this point, you could be like, oh, I need to hurry up, roll and equip it now, so I'm good for later. But I think you could also just leave the Roland there until you actually need it. What do I mean by that? The opponent using Branded Fusion, now we can chain link to Roland, because I know that in the next chain, he's gonna have a monster effect. And now he just probably has to think 3 more times the Branded Fusion materials, because whatever he summons, I could negate it unless he chain block. But the chain block probably means using materials that he doesn't want. Like right now, he's gonna use tragedy. Maybe I just force him to use tragedy, you know. So now he could chain block, and he had the Dark Ruler. As you can see, when I saw this card, I was like relieved, because I was like, yeah, this makes sense. Okay, so what happened if he Dark Ruler? So we wouldn't have this Gearfried negate. That's basically it. So I value that evenly let us have the Gearfried. I know Dark Ruler doesn't mess around with the grind game as much, but this moment I think I have enough grind game with my hand, so I value the interruption more than the bodies on field that he could probably clear in different ways. So where was I? Yeah. So the guy calls the Dark Ruler. Also, he could have probably Dark Ruler Gearfried before, but maybe he was not aware of Roland equipping to Gearfried, so he could be live once again. Or maybe it didn't matter because he doesn't have any other card to discard, you know? Like I told you. Maybe he didn't want to use this, maybe he was going to use a light. That way he was going to summon the Alvin that doesn't need a discard, but we force it. At this moment, you could save the Gearfried for later, but I think it's fine to just use it now, so we avoid the extra search, because what's going to happen next is a similar outcome. So the guy is going to summon Mirror Jet, which I was expecting, but now, if we save Gearfried, we could Gearfried negate the Mirror Jet. Because we use Gearfried, now we can use the other interruption, Promethean. Yeah, so Promethean kill Gearfried and Mirror Jet. So Mirror Jet banishing Gearfried, I don't think it matters, because the pieces that get us Gearfried, which are Almaze and Renault, they get it from Graveyard or Banished. I know Promethean is not going to stay there because Mirror Jet end phase. But we stop the guy. So now all he has is, why is he searching Branded Retribution to the hand? Because he has opening that requires a discard. So that's like the most free discard he could get in that scenario. Now here we probably misplay, because we could have Ghost over the Quem. But I was thinking that it is not too much of a deal, like I could just probably save it for the Cartouche anyways. Like in my turn, that's what he probably is gonna try to do. Yeah, we top deck stake. No. I think we top deck. I thought it was a second copy of Ghost Ogre. Maybe I misremember this part. Okay, let's see. Maybe we get the second copy of Ghost Ogre in a different way. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we use Rasen here. I do remember we got access to this engine. Then it was super easy to just kill the Quem without using the extra deck, because we happen to have the attributes. I'm playing 6 witches, so it's not the most weird thing to happen in my variant. Now we get the search. Now, of course, we don't want to lose the battlefield. We are trying to OTK, but just free fodder for witch. I think that's nice. Oh yeah, that's probably it. Maybe the witch was a one. I think that makes sense, because that explains the extra draw of the Ghost Ogre. I do remember that I ended the whole game with the 2 Ghost Ogres in my hand, so it's not like it changes the outcome. I'm just trying to recreate it as perfect as possible, but it didn't matter for the game. I think it's clear that I'm not gonna use Ghost Ogre to win at this point. Anyways, this is so we can set the OST idea. I think that's the whole point. That way we get the Renault that we put in the deck earlier. So now he gets the Gearfried, and this is just super game. Anima, we equip and summon Turpin. Now we make that to revive his Mirror J, which is gonna be a boss monster. Yeah, I don't think there is any problem with revive him this way. Yeah, it's legal. And then with some gear redone, that's GG. So who needs Charles? Who needs follow-up? I mean, who needs the Museum Angelica? There is different ways to have game. As you can see, this is a lot of damage. And GG. And with 2 extra Ghost Ogres in hand. Yeah, I do remember. I have double Ghost Ogre that I never got to use. And it's funny because we only played 2 Ghost Ogre between main and side deck. But yeah, that was the replay. I think it's cool when we make an FTK board and then they break the board and then we have follow-up and we can still win. With a weird follow-up, as you can see. Yeah. I really hope you like this replay, this explanation of my match 1. I think match number 2 was even better. So I don't want to spoil you any much more, but it was against purely, yeah. Okay, so stay tuned for that replay. Bye bye.